small presentation I wanted to make for you guys. It's about mastering your keys, a strategy guide to self custody, your Bitcoin, and avoiding scam. Okay, so why it is so important for me to make that video today. Um, I saw like what was the problem over the years. It's commonly caused by people not using their own keys. So it's so important to own your own Bitcoin privately with your own wallet, because I get the idea that you can have investment on your bank where you holding a Bitcoin ETF, right? I personally sometimes advise some people to have exposure to Bitcoin through their bank. So basically owning a Bitcoin ETF. Because I'm not trying to convince someone to take their money out of the bank. You know, if they are 50 years old, 6 years old, they have kids, they want to save for their kids' education. I'm not going to convince them to self custody owning their own keys, but I can help them benefit from the Bitcoin potential, um, because I love them. I want their kids succeed. I want them succeed. But in a broad sense, it's always better to have your own Bitcoin control. You have control under your Bitcoin, because otherwise you may end up in a very bad situation where the exchange sold your fund. That happened before, by the way, with the MyGox and so many other exchanges, and you may end up with a situation where the ETF company decide not to um, pay, the holders the money they owe them, and you may end up in a situation where it's simply because they don't have the money to pay you, or they just want you to take 1% or 2% every month. So it's probably gonna take a long period until you withdraw all that money. So that's why it's important to consider having your own keys. So now, mastering your keys, the strategy guide. So the foundation of self custody. So you have to understand why you self custody, and then you have to understand what it is. So many people are scared of self custody because they don't know what it is. They don't know if it can be simple. When I first started on Bitcoin, I bought a cheap wallet, like a simple wallet that, you know, I wanted to um, get familiar with it, So I bought a small ledger. Like, I wouldn't recommend right now, but that's what I did back in a few years ago. I just bought a ledger and I started to do some transactions. So back then I could use Binance, and buy Bitcoin from Binance and send some money to the hardware wallet. Okay, so I feel the power of having like this outside money that I can send, and like it doesn't matter how much it is, I can just with the like press of a button and then send it all and receive it all, like. And I was like, wow, that's extraordinary. So first of all, it's not that complicated to operate your own keys. It's just you plug it in. If you want to have top security, the top security, I would suggest you have a air gap wallet. So like a cold card, kind of wallet where you don't connect it directly to your laptop to avoid high risk, right? So you air gapped it. So that basically you just connect a SD card to it that will memorize the transaction. The memory card will you save that transaction you want to send on the memory card, and then once you plug it into your cold card or your hardware wallet, it will just send the money. But if you're just starting out, I would say a wallet like a Trezor, or a wallet like you know one of those ledgers, like still fine. You can probably still, you know, do like smaller transactions using them, and even a hot wallet on your phone. Like if you're just starting out, I don't want to like say you should start right away, like air gapping transactions. Like it's not gonna happen. You need more practice. So start with a small wallet, like like a Moon wallet, or there's Aqua wallet right now. There's wallet of Satoshi. All those wallets you can start, like have a feeling of what it is. Okay. So private key. When people say private key, people kind of get scared because they think it's like a big thing. It's secret. Like no, private keys are like simply a strings of words or characters that specify your address. Like that hides your money basically. And the only way you need the money has to go out of your wallet is if you sign a transaction. If you basically press the button and say send. So that's what signing is, like digital signatures is just press the button is say send. If you press that button, then the money is gone. Okay? So that's how you secure your money. And if you have that key saved and stored in a safe place where nobody can find it, then your money is safe. And there's those keys, they have a second layer of protection. And even if somebody find the key, they will have a hard time to get the money, unless if they know the pin on the wallet. Right? So they need to know the pin, and some of those wallet has a password too as well, right? They need to put in so they can log in, right? Otherwise, some of those wallets, if they try it so many times, they destroy themselves, right? So after so many times, if the person doesn't get the right key, the right pass, right, then the wallet will destroy itself. Okay, so all right, so that's the private key right there, and then choosing your right wallet. Well, the wallet, like I just to talk about wallet, like when you choose your wallet, you want to choose like hardware wallets, like for bigger amount of money. Like if you have like a lot of Bitcoin you want to store, you need a hardware wallet like air gap and everything. But if you're looking at like low level, just starting a ledger, a Trezor, or a hot wallet on your phone is probably fine. Like small amount. I'm talking like 100 to 1000, 3000. But if you are at 10,000 to 50,000, I recommend something like a air gap cold card wallet. Okay. So two-factor authentication, that's basically when you're using things like exchanges. So if you're logging into your exchange, you have some fund there, I recommend a two-factor authentication, not necessarily SMS based, authentication, but it's more like because SMS you can get swapped. Okay, your phone can you can get SIM swapped and you lose your money. Okay, so and even one of those Lightning wallets like Wallet of Satoshi and wallets like Blank Wallet, all those wallets you get a lot of SIM swap and you can get lose all your money. I'm telling you that by experience that you can take all your money on those wallets if you're not being careful because those wallets only use your email. But well, if the attacker hack into your email, get your password, they can log in to your wallet. So you can't leave much money in those hot wallets. They will just take them. Okay. So utilizing hardware wallet is an essential step in creating robust security posture. These devices are designed to keep your private keys offline, significantly reducing the risk of hacking, malware attacks, here's or to maximize their effectiveness. Okay, so basically, to use hardware wallet effectively, so you have to ensure that you are using a manufacturer's official website. Okay, to download the wallet software and to buy the wallet. First of all, if you want to buy a hardware wallet, you have to buy it from the manufacturer website. Don't just buy it from Amazon or Walmart or any store like this because they may have been compromised. Yeah, you may be buying a compromised wallet. Okay. Second, uh, secure your seed phrase. Okay, so you need to make sure the seed phrase you write it down or in a steel plate. Okay, where it's safe because the seed phrase is your money. That's literally what it is. So anybody who find your seed phrase, find your money. Well, um, I would say the seed words, okay, the seed phrase or seed words you have, those do's or 24 words, they should be stored in a, if it's a lot of money you don't want to lose, you want to store it on on a seed plate, like a titanium or a metal plate, so you can anchor it in. Okay, so once you anchor that in to your seed plate, okay, so now you can have and then I would recommend that you lock that plate as well. Most of the plate I see they're selling right now, they're not covered with like with a metal. So you should be able to lock that seat plate with the like a lock. So that's a second layer of protection. So even if somebody find the plate, they can't just come in and just start reading it, right? Or take a picture. They would have to cut that lock, right? So by the time they're probably doing it, maybe you show up. So you need that as well. So this is plate with a lock, okay? And so protect that seat plate, the seat face, and with this on the seat plate, basically, it has to be safe. It has to be protected at all costs, okay? And like somewhere you will find it, your um your family will find it if you pass away, like obviously. So you need to communicate that with your wife, your husband, your kids, okay? When you set up a hardware wallet, yeah, you will receive a seed phrase, okay? So that's what I was talking about, okay? And then a series of words that can regenerate your private keys, okay? That's good. So store this phrase in a secure offline location such as a safe or safety deposit box, okay? So even if the house is on fire, right? So you would not lose that seed plate, okay? So make sure that even whatever happened, you still have it, okay? Avoid saving it digitally. Don't store your seed phrase on on things like online platforms. Okay, like secure password platforms. You can't do that for Bitcoin because those platforms, they are digital place. They can get hacked, and even if they don't get hacked, they are insiders on those platforms, so they may be able to read your Bitcoin address, your Bitcoin seed phrases, seed words. So if they find these seed words, they will you will be in trouble. So you don't do that. You don't store that in online anywhere online. You don't take a picture of it. You don't um you know put it on your notepad anywhere. Okay, it has to be offline, completely offline. Good, it's because otherwise it will expose you to online threats. Okay. Okay, regular software firmware updates. Manufacturers periodically release updates to improve security and functionality. Okay, so you may want to check for updates, okay, regarding the firmware. So sometimes the firmware may be not up to date. You may want to update it. So I usually wait for a few months, right? So even a few quarters, like 5 or 6 months, for me to upgrade, to update my the firmware, because I want to make sure that it's safe before I do. Okay, so I don't upgrade updates every release. I just wait until everything is good. These updates, okay, apply them to your device to protect against emerging vulnerability. So, okay, now you need to know about psychological warfare regarding scams. Okay, what is scam? So usually in crypto or in Bitcoin, the scams come. Usually, you scam yourself. It's not mostly about the scammer, it's just you yourself, because they will use psychological warfare against you. Okay, so you make the mistake yourself. So basically, you send them your Bitcoin. Like sometime, like you see on YouTube, where they're asking you to send them like zero point 0.2 Bitcoin, and they will send you back zero point 0.4. Like they will double to you. So that's definitely already something that's not gonna happen. They're never gonna send you anything. So they're just gonna keep that money. So that's one of the thing I was gonna get trapped. That's one of the psychological warfare I was gonna get be a victim of, because when I first started and I saw this video, it's like, oh, okay, if I send $1,000 and they will give me back 2,000, well, sounds okay, I'll try. And the last, there's an idea behind my head, is like, let me research that a little bit. And then when I start researching, even the website of these guys, they kind of look weird, right? So if it's too good to be true, then it is. So don't even think about it. Okay, so they just gonna take your money and never return it back. Okay, so be very careful. So as cryptocurrency adoption grows, so too does the sophistication. So they have more sophisticated ways to exploit you, and so they want to exploit your trust and ignorance, because you're probably new, you don't know, and you want to make money, right? You want to be rich quick and stuff like that. Then you just fall into that trap. Okay, so like, and then you don't want to get FOMO in. So usually what happens, people get FOMO into scams. Things like they give their Bitcoin for crypto. Like they wanna make money on crypto, and they see that coin is going up, they want to make money, they buy, and after a couple days, the coin it crashes. When it crashes, you lose 90% of your money. So that means you lose all your money. Like there's no coming back. There's not gonna be another like bull run for that coin. It's just dead. Okay, so that means you lose all your money in a scam. So that's how you lose money on Bitcoin. It may not be just because you know you lose your keys or because you get hacked. It's probably because you send your Bitcoin to an exchange where you switch it, you convert it for another coin that's go to zero. Okay, so that's how you may get hacked as well. Not get hacked, but you fail yourself badly. So social engineering, many scams rely on building report and trust. Okay, so be wary of unsolicited messages of emails from individuals claiming to offer investment opportunities or technical support. Okay, so if anybody is emailing you, asking you for your um, things like your seed phrase or your name, address, things like that, deny, don't answer. Okay, they are scammers, they're gonna take all your money. Don't answer anything. Okay, just block them. And legitimate project projects will never ask for your private keys or seed phrase. Okay, the ledger, any of those companies will not ask you for your private keys, and neither should they. They should never ask you for things like that because this is private to you. It's your money. It's like, like it shouldn't ask you for things like that. Imposters website, phishing attacks, things like that can get you hacked. Okay, so don't click on them. Um, okay, steps to perform Bitcoin into unassailable freedom. Okay, so how you go from securing, right, avoiding those scams, okay, to using Bitcoin that you protected over the years to unassailable freedom, okay, to truly transform Bitcoin for a speculative asset into a tool of financial freedom, okay, for yourself, your family, your kids. It requires a commitment to self-education and proactive security measures, okay. So you need to learn what it is, and you need to understand what is Bitcoin fundamentally. So, like that's why I create website like this to teach you about what Bitcoin is and um, how to use it. Okay, so you need to learn these things, and then you have to keep up with security. So just you could have like a good no, nice decent security system where you send your Bitcoin to your hardware wallet, but maybe in the future you may need to upgrade to a multi-sig because the value of this coin is becoming more and more, right? So let's say if you have 2000, and then in a few years it becomes 20,000, maybe you want to upgrade even more. If you have 20,000, now you have 200,000. You want to upgrade to a better security system where your coins are safer. Okay, and then you have to educate yourself, stay informed, right? Like what's going on, what's the you don't have to regarding Bitcoin, you don't have to keep up with the news all the time. It's not necessary because Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's gonna do what it's gonna do, but you just have to be informed in the way where you don't get shake out because of bad news, because what Trump said or what the US said or what China banned Bitcoin or whatever, right? So you should know. That's why it's important to understand to study Bitcoin first, okay? And the other thing I think is important, most people and on Bitcoin don't talk about, is diversification. Okay, so usually people say you are diversifying if you just selling Bitcoin to buy something else. Okay, but what they don't realize is that Bitcoin in in reality is often go to that those cycles where it goes up and goes down, goes up and goes down. Usually it takes a year or two for this bear market to realize, right? So to fully um, realize. So then in those periods, if you didn't prepare for those times, you can have a very, very hard psychological problem. Okay, because your money, like let's say you're all in, let's say you're 100% into Bitcoin, then everything you have is down. And I say that in a way that yes, it sounds a lot of fiat because you kind of like look at it like the amount of dollars you have, but it also what gives you confidence for future, right? For your family, what gives you that you know hope for future is mostly people look at how much money they have and they say, okay, well, if I have that much, then I can sustain myself and my family for this many years. Then if you start seeing the price crashing 20%, 40%, 50%, and you're like, oh man, I wish I had some other things out there. I wish I had maybe a little business on the side. And why this is important? Because, well, Bitcoin is not everything. Like, yes, you can sell it, you can convert it into energy, you can convert it and you can sell it, by a car, by a house, by food, by everything you want. But what if you want to start a business, for example, that makes you happy? And usually, I'm trying to kind of staying on this topic a little more because having a business is a great thing. Because having a business, that means you're selling your time. It's not just the money you're investing in the business, but it's more like your time. So what would you do with your time if you don't have a business? Well, you're gonna go work for a company where you're not being fulfilled, where you're just being told what to do all the time, right? That's against self sovereignty and freedom, right? So, well, if you start your own business, yes, you probably spend some Bitcoin to do so, but in the long run, if it's a good business, that's I don't say start a failing business, but a business that's profitable, then in the long run, you benefit, your family benefit, you stay active, your you know your self-esteem stay up, right? Everything stay up because money is not everything, right? Like Bitcoin is not everything. It's not for like gonna fix everything about our lives. Sometimes we may have to use the Bitcoin like it give us the opportunity to use it to have something else, other things like businesses, like house, like a nice place, like where you feel comfortable, a place that raise your consciousness to where you wanna take care of yourself better and have a better lifestyle, like habit and things that better for your health and things like that. So it's important to like take a look at this too. Okay, so diversifying your your exposure. I'm not saying like go 50% Bitcoin and 50% everything else. That's that's not probably not a good idea, but at least if you take 5 or 10% to do your own business, that's not a bad idea. Okay, and I'm not talking about diversifying into things like crypto. Like crypto is like you probably never gonna get your money back. Like 100% loss. Like most of them. So don't do that. Okay. And DeFi is not a good idea. They get hacked all the time. And if you're getting a yield, then you probably yield. So if you're getting 10% or 50%, like if 10%, 20%, then you know that's coming out of your pocket. Okay, so have self custody and everything. So in conclusion, so what it is, in a world of increasingly dominated by digital assets and financial technology, mastering self custody is not merely a choice, it is a necessity. By taking control of your keys, you reject the vulnerabilities associated with third party custodians and the more manipulative tactics of modern scams. So basically, you having self custody, you have full control over your money. You're not asking the bank to move it for you. It takes me if like full 4 months to transfer a fund that I had on a bank to another bank. Takes me 4 months because all those things you have to go through, those hoops. Oh, you're gonna have to sign this document. You're gonna wait. This bank takes 3 weeks to a month to process this payment, and here's the investment from this from that. It takes 4 months because once I get the fund, I think everything is good and ready. Oh no, we're gonna wait. We're gonna have wait another 3 weeks to process that payment, and it takes forever. Okay, so imagine if you had to like do something with that money, like you had an emergency. Okay, this person would probably be dead, right? So that's the problem. So that's why it's important to have self custody of your money. I hope you guys enjoy. This was PieCover, and I'll see you again.